Hey everybody, welcome back to Fossil Games and a brand new Let's Play in Civilization 6. I'm pretty excited for this one because this one is in honor of the January update to the New Frontier Pass, and I gotta say we really got a lot in this one, right? It's pretty exciting. This one was worth the money, right? We got Vietnam as a brand new civ, and we got Kublai Khan, brand new leader who can lead both the Mongolians and China, making him pretty versatile and fun to play around with, right? And besides that, we got this new game mode that's just like really packed with stuff. It's all focused on economics. I think the official title is the Monopolies and Corporations game mode, and so yeah, that's all pretty exciting stuff. I mean, the economic thing, that's something that players have been wanting sort of forever. And we're going to see like how well-rounded it is, how sort of filled out it is. But it's definitely good to have something that's a little bit more complex in that area of the game, right? So yeah, there's a lot to go over here. And first, let me sort of describe what you're seeing here, because you're probably wondering why things are moving so quickly. No, I'm not actually that fast when I play the game. I have gone ahead and played through the first 50 turns of the game and recorded that footage, and now I am recording commentary over the top of that, sped up. And just the point is to keep up the energy, keep up the pace, because, you know, Civ, I know that so often I get stuck when I'm playing Civ. I get stuck thinking about basically everything, every single little detail and every decision, right? Because it all matters and there's lots of different possibilities. And so I'm sort of trying to shake loose of that, right? And play quicker, but also keep things interesting by just getting through the game quicker, getting to some action. And, you know, and I also really want to show off all the new parts of the game to you guys, right? A lot of you guys probably already know all the old parts. So yeah, we want to get to the interesting stuff. So I've just gone ahead and sped things up here a little bit. And what I decided to do for this Let's Play is, because Vietnam is an entirely new civilization, an entire civilization, I decided to play as Vietnam. But I didn't want to leave out Kublai Khan, right? So either iterations of Kublai Khan. So we're playing against both, right? I allowed for duplicate leaders, and I put in Kublai Khan leading China and Kublai Khan leading Mongolia. So we're going to get to see both. We're going to get to see how the AI plays them and what kind of challenges they bring us. Now we're playing on deity because, as we'll discuss in a little bit, Vietnam in a lot of ways seems to be pretty OP. Right? Certainly militarily. And so I definitely wanted to have some kind of challenge in there still. And then, yeah, I included another couple of civilizations that have in real life been important to Vietnam in history, right? There's America. All right, hope it's not too soon. But America's in there. France is in there because they also had a huge part in colonizing Vietnam. And, you know, just ahead of the American war in Vietnam, because there was also a French war in Vietnam, right? So France is in there, Japan is in there, Khmer, because they're located nearby, I think Indonesia. So, yeah, tried to incorporate a little bit of the realistic historical interactions there. Now, what you're looking at now is a very unfortunate situation. When I'm playing on deity, I know it's a little bit risky, but I like to start with a military unit, right, and get that out of the way so that I have a little bit of extra protection, just because this kind of thing can happen with the barbarians, right? But then I like to try to squeeze out a settler, just in case, because, you know, you're trying to keep up with the AI the best you can, and I'm not generally like a huge warmonger. Right, I like to focus on building up my empire and not risk war too often or for no reason, right? So I tried to do that here. I tried to put out a settler for a couple of turns, and then I ran into that horde of barbarian horsemen there, and switched tactics immediately. Started building another warrior, and somehow I managed to save that slinger that you're looking at down there. I don't even know how I managed to do that, but saved the slinger. And yeah, and then I started being able to push back the barbarians. I had to get some warriors out though, because they're really the only ones that are effective against barbarian horsemen. Like, I mean, I wanted to get more slingers out, right? Because archers, you can upgrade them to archers, and archers are a way better defensive unit, way better unit in general to have. But warriors were going to be the only ones that really did the right amount of damage against the horsemen. So started putting out some warriors, and now the situation, I've managed to sort of stabilize a little bit, and got back a little bit of confidence that I could handle this barbarian outbreak, and I'm working on that settler there again. So let's talk a little bit about some of Vietnam's bonuses in this game. If I can, I don't know if I can really remember them all correctly, but going to do my best here. So first of all, they have this great military bonus that I think is the leader's bonus, and that's that they get +5 strength in jungles and forests, and that's doubled to +10, right, when they are in their own territory. Oh, and marsh. It includes marsh as well. So that's pretty reflective of history, right? I mean, certainly, like, you know, what happened to America and Vietnam in real life, that reflects that pretty well. Vietnamese turned out to be pretty good fighting in the jungle. So, you know, on one hand, I really like that bonus. On the other hand, it's pretty strong, right? That is a pretty strong bonus. They're definitely a very defense-oriented civ, and I think you can do a lot with with very few units to defend, right? If you got a big, bad enemy coming at you. They've also got a unique unit that's an elephant archer, basically. It's a replacement of the catapult, and boy, I saw this thing on the developer live stream. Holy smokes. That thing looks like a beast, right? So I definitely wanted to take this game on deity so that there would be at least a little bit of a challenge going on, right? Because the biggest threat on deity is really militarily, and especially early in the game. So yeah, I knew that Vietnam in a lot of ways sort of neutralizes that threat. And there he is. There is our Genghis Khan China leader, right? Ran into him right away. So that's pretty cool. We get to see him right off the bat. Another little note here, I actually disabled all the voices. Sorry, I know you don't actually get to listen to what Kublai Khan sounds like, but I wanted to just be able to talk all over the top of everything without any interruptions. So yeah, we've met Kublai Khan, but we don't know exactly where he is yet, right? And he's playing as Mongolia, so we know that he's also got some pretty significant military strengths as well, right? So Vietnam's units, back to their bonuses, right? Vietnam's units also get to move an extra point of movement. If I understand this correctly, they get an extra point of movement when they start in a jungle or forest tile. So you could probably see that at work here if you're sort of following along with the unit movements. Anytime a unit is starting in a jungle or forest, they're getting an extra point of movement. So, you know, that keeps you also pretty versatile and able to move around the map pretty quickly, which is also a bonus in exploration and also a bonus during war, right? And in exploration, unfortunately, like on deity, you don't really ever get to build your own scout, right? It's certainly not right away. So that's not something we're looking at right now. But and there I am. I tried to. I realized that I forgot to send a not an envoy. You know, I forgot to contact Kublai Khan and send him 25 gold for no reason. No, not for no reason, right? On deity, you like to do that because the AI sort of automatically hates you, and you know, to try to avoid a war at the beginning of the game. It can work sometimes to go ahead and send them a diplomatic, whatever it's called. I don't know. You guys probably know. I can't remember right now. A delegation. There it is. Perfect timing. You could send them a delegation. But, you know, if you don't do it on the very first turn that you meet the Civ, you tend to sort of miss out on the chance, right? So he didn't take it. And, yeah. And now we're going to settle our second city right next to that little natural wonder there, which is actually going to be kind of cool for us because we're going to get to build our districts in right around it for a lot cheaper, for a lot quicker, right? And that's actually a really good segue into Vietnam's final major bonus, or wouldn't even call it a bonus so much, but it's the way they work, right? All of their specialty districts, they have to build them on forest and jungle, right? You can't build them just on, or marsh, sorry, I always forget the marsh, but marsh as well. But you can't just build them on an open plain, right? They have to be in forest or jungle. So that natural wonder there is actually going to be pretty perfect for us because it's just surrounded by jungles. So we can pretty much put down whatever districts we want to stick in there, and that'll work pretty well for us. Right here, I'm looking at what I want my first district to be, and I think I just unlocked writing there, so I have the campuses, and I was trying to decide if I could plop it down right then, but I wanted to save my money for another warrior, so I didn't want to go ahead and buy a tile to put down my campus, and I also didn't want to give up on the good adjacency bonuses that I could get. So a little explanation there of what I was doing. Vietnam also gets a unique district that actually doesn't count as a specialty district, and the reason for that, the whole purpose of not counting as a specialty district, is that is the one. That is the one district they get to place on open tiles, right? That don't have to be on jungle or forest. So yeah, we'll see those come into play a little bit later. Actually, not in this video, but probably next episode already. Those are going to start coming into play, and they get a really cool cultural bonus. They get a major adjacency bonus, so +2 culture to those districts for every adjacent district. Right, so I think that gives Vietnam a pretty diverse cast of different bonuses and different things to go for and different things to play around with. Right, because they get these cultural bonuses that make them good for culture potentially. And their districts, they have to be placed in rainforest or forest, but their districts get culture or science depending on which they get placed in. So I think they get science I think they get a science bonus if they're placed in forest, and a culture bonus if they're placed in rainforest. I think that's how it goes, but I can't tell you 100%. I'd have to look it up again, but one of those two things. So yeah, they get a really nice sort of diverse set of skills going on there. All right, so now that we've sort of covered, what we can expect in terms of playing as Vietnam, we could take a look, pay a little bit more attention to what's actually going on in the game, right? And at this point, my thinking is basically, holy crap, I'm at 100 military, and both Kublai Khan and Khmer are at almost 400 military, right? And, on one hand, I'm pretty confident in my skills to be able to fight them back, even on deity, right? But in any case, that could be potentially a dangerous situation. So I'm sort of doing my best to block Kublai Khan from coming anywhere near me in the south, in that thin little passage there. And then here I'm trying to block his settler from wherever it's trying to go, right? To delay him putting down a city, even if it's just by a couple of turns, right? That's going to benefit me. And Khmer are a bit further away, and I have that city-state of Antananarivo between us, so not too worried about him. But I also know that I don't have like any friends right now. And to make matters worse, Kublai Khan is suzerain of Antananarivo, so he's kind of got me surrounded on all sides here, even with that city-state there, right next to me. So I'm basically just playing the usual balancing act here of trying to make progress with science and culture, while also defending myself against aggression. And that was actually just a bit of luck right there. That meteor strike, I was planning on skipping right out of there with my scout, right? So I didn't get blocked off when trying to put down their new city there. Or sorry, Mongolia. That's Mongolia. Kublai Khan is Mongolia. So he was about to put down a city there, and I didn't want to have my scout get stuck back there. But then that meteor strike came, and I had to go and take that. So that gave me the little chariot there that I'm working with. And so the other thing that we got in this pack is the economic game mode that I'm really looking forward to getting to. And we're not actually going to see any of it in this video just yet, so you'll have to stay tuned for the next parts, because hopefully we'll get there soon, right? I want to be able to play and set up some industries, and then later on some corporations, and maybe even a monopoly or two. I really want to test out that system and see how that all works. And I'm not even gonna take the time to sort of explain what I understand of it yet, because I haven't seen it at all, So except in the developer live stream that they put out. But I am definitely looking forward to it, and I think it's gonna make it fun. The one comment I will make about it is I'm a little on the fence about. I think a lot of players were sort of hoping to have an economic victory opportunity come into play, and that didn't happen, right? So it's essentially just an addition to everything else that's already in the game, and that's cool. But I'm sort of waiting to see if it's really everything it's hyped up to be, or if it's sort of like, okay, a little is better than nothing, but not quite as amazing as we hoped for, right? But we'll have to see in the following parts. So here I'm working on bronze working, so that I can get to Vietnam's unique district, which I talked about the unique district, and I didn't even tell you what it is. Aren't I just the best commentator ever? Right? So their unique district, I'm going to tell you now, don't worry, despite the long pause there. I'm building suspense. So their unique district is actually an encampment. And so that's why I'm going for ironworking there, so that I can try to get to that, so I have the option of putting it down. And here I actually pulled off a little bit of a coup in Antananarivo, because Mongolia was their suzerain, and he just paid to take control of their military. I saw that with one of their warriors, right? And I was like, holy crap, okay, now he really has me surrounded. And I was sure that he was going to declare war on me any turn, right? And that just made him, even stronger, right? Because he got their 4 or 5 warriors or whatever it was that they had. But luckily I got a governor point just in time, and I was able to send Amani over there, and I didn't become suzerain of the city-state, but we broke even, right? We both have 3 envoys there, so he can't control their military anymore. And what a bummer. As you can see, our very first transition into a new age, and we hit a dark age, right? So that means that automatically we lost one of our cities, and things on the surface here really are not looking very good, right? Because we lost one of our cities, became a free city, so I'm not benefiting from that at all. And even my capital now is losing loyalty really quick, so things are looking pretty bleak. But I'm pretty lucky here, because I was able to build up enough military early on in the game. Well, I had to build up enough military early on in the game that I'm in a pretty decent position to strike back right away and take that city back again for myself. I also noticed lucky for me, right? Another sort of advantage that I have here, despite the situation that doesn't look very good, is that Mongolia is also in a dark age. So they lost a city of their own, and yeah, so they're not necessarily in a better situation in that way. The Khmer, however, are in a golden age. So you can see that they're actually in a decent position to take away, through loyalty, the city that Mongolia lost. So there's France. We met her. I decided to play with her because I'm not a huge fan of the other leader. Can't remember her name right now. Yeah, you know the one I'm talking about. The one that's both a leader of England and a leader of France. I don't like having her around so much, so I decided to go with the very first leader that we ever got for France. So yeah, as you can see here, we're moving in on the city fairly quickly, and at the same time, I'm trying to surround that warrior from Mongolia the very best that I can. Make sure he doesn't try anything sneaky and try to hit me. Now, I believe... Yeah, I'm pretty sure that I am actually now the suzerain of Antonegrovio. That was a stroke of luck, really. That was very good for me. So now I've got a really nice buffer to my right side that I know is more or less safe, at least for the time being, and I can just focus on defending myself from the south. I also have pretty good gold income because I got a couple of good gold tiles early. So that's been helping me purchase a few things that I needed. And you can see there, Kublai Khan is not going to give up that city without a fight. He's going to try to take it back if he can, even if he can't take it back, I'm not sure he's going to be able to hold on to it through loyalty. So let's see if I can take this city back right here. And boom, took it back. That's going to put us in a pretty decent position moving forward to sort of recover from this dark age. And that's turn 50. We got through the first 50 turns, and now I want to take a pause and open up the map in real time and talk a few minutes about some strategy, what we're going to be going for in the next episode, and so on and so forth. Hi, welcome back. Anybody else get that reference? A little bit of Ace Ventura there. Anybody else grow up in the 90s? Anyway, let's get into it here. Let's take a look at sort of what our strategic situation is, and and what we should really be going for. We managed to get a campus down, which is pretty cool. I believe we now have access to the Tan, our unique unit, or our unique district. That's right. So yeah, we're going to be thinking about places to put that down pretty soon. And we got to be careful here thinking about which forests and rainforests we want to chop down, right? Since all the other districts have to be placed on top of them. So we could either like take this tile and stick it right here, or we could try to make things more defensive and maybe go for this hill, right? Because that's a slightly better position for an encampment. And over here, we're working on our second campus, and we get a little bonus to production to it thanks from this natural wonder. I'm taking a look at the broader picture here. A little bit of geopolitics, I suppose you could say. A little bit of a broader strategic overview. Right, we know France is in the game, but we're not really too worried about them right now because they're going to be preoccupied with the Khmer. But this... I mostly want to focus on this little stretch of land right here because this is going to be pretty important for us. Because you can see that Kublai Khan is going to want to control it, right, as a way to undermine either me or the Khmer, right? Either way, I think he was thinking of me to start out with, but now that he might lose this city, he's going to want this. He's going to want to be suzerain of this city-state even more, which I am realizing now that I absolutely butchered the name of it as we were looking at the gameplay footage there. This is Antananarivo. That's, I assume how you pronounce it. I'm not even, I think it's Madagascar, right? I believe it is. Anyway, I was definitely pronouncing it wrong before. I may still be pronouncing it wrong, but that's all right. The important part is we know what I'm talking about. So yeah, it's going to be really important for him to want to control this. On the other hand, the Khmer are probably going to want to get in on the action here if they can, right? Because that would also help them solidify this city in their empire, right, and help secure that and make it safe. That being said, I don't exactly know what's on the other side of their empire, and they may have some points that are more important to them. You know, looking over at Vilnius over here, I can see that they have Amani over in this city-state. So that tells me that they may not place a whole lot of importance on this when perhaps they should be, right? But in any case, Kublai Khan is definitely going to want it. He's already got a bit invested there, and having that would definitely help him strike out at me easier and secure this city, right? I have pretty much already secured Kumasi because it looks to me like I have this little corner of my continent sort of trapped, sort of cornered off. So I don't think anybody else even knows about this city-state. So that's pretty cool. I can sort of take the bonuses from there and become suzerain at my leisure, at the moment at least. We know that Kublai Khan is down here, and the nice part is that I've got a pretty defensible little tunnel here against him. I was a little worried when he was suzerain of the city-state, but now that he's not, and he can't use their military, I've got this nice little tunnel here to protect myself. At least for a little while, until he gets, his horsemen and starts going nuts, right? But that should protect me down there. Plus, I get as Vietnam, I get the bonuses to fighting in jungle and forests. Now that I've taken this city back, I can start to move some of my units back down into this side of things as sort of reinforcements if something were to happen down there. But I'm not sure that he's really in much of a position to do that. I think he's got to worry about this side of his empire a lot more, right? I mean, you could look at the military score too, and you see how strong the Khmer are. And so, Kublai Khan's not necessarily going to be wanting to start a war against them right now either. They're doing really, really well. And they're in a position to sort of take what they want militarily. So I may get a bit of breathing room here, right? And now I'm working on my next settler, right? So I can finally get down a third city. And, the question is where I want to put that. And it could actually be beneficial for me to come down in this zone here, to come down into this area and make sure that, first of all, that I control this passage, right? If I don't put a city on this tile itself, I could put a canal there later and have easy passage between these two spots, even though then this is just, a big lake that my units would be trapped in, but that would be a nice point to control, and it would open up the possibility of me militarily expanding into Mongolia's territory later on. That's a little bit beyond us right now, but it is something to consider, right? And it's only a matter of time before he comes up here and tries to grab this spot. Now, another smart thing to do would be to come down here, or maybe as far back as this river over here. And that would sort of set us up in a position where if he did come down here and claim this land with a city. So let's take a look at the settler lens. Yeah, he's got plenty of room to settle here. If he did come down here and take this, then we could put ourselves in a position to basically have that surrounded more or less and threaten it with loyalty, hopefully. I don't know exactly where their capital is. Right? This could be his capital, in which case that probably wouldn't be very possible, right? So it'd be better for me to settle there first. On the other hand, all of this is much better land. Right? I get the fresh water, or even up here, right? I get the fresh water, I got resources over here, I got the forests, and I got the jungles. It's safe. Right? No one's going to be attacking me from that direction. I'm also going to have plans later to stick another city up here. So yeah, I think the biggest question ahead of us right now is where to settle that next settler. So let me know what you think in the comments below for sure. What should be my next priorities moving forward? Where should I put that settler? Should I be playing more aggressive against Kublai Khan, or should I sort of hedge my bets, build up at home? That may not be the safest thing to do on deity. So yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and definitely join me for the next episode, because I think this is going to be an exciting game, and we're going to get to see lots of cool new stuff that came out with the January update. So yeah, you're not going to want to miss it. Click subscribe so that you don't, and like the video just because you're awesome and you want to help me out. And I will see you here next time. Thanks for joining me. Bye-bye.